This video is going to be a film study look at how the Baltimore Ravens defense was able to hold the Buffalo Bills to 236 yards of offense on 11 possessions in Sunday night's 35-10 win. Of course, they held the Bills to just 4.6 yards per pass, which I think is a pretty remarkable number, considering how efficient Josh Allen had been leading into that Week 4 matchup. I think he came in with 7 touchdowns and no interceptions thrown. Additionally, Khalil Shakir, 14 of 14 catches coming into the game, other than the 52-yard catch on a play that Josh Allen extended and made an exceptional throw down the right hash on. Shakir did not have that big of an impact. I thought Marlon Humphrey played extremely well as a nickel defender, occasionally on the outside. Kyle Hamilton, Brandon Stevens, Nate Wiggins, those guys deserve credit for the tight coverage they played, how physical they were at times, even lightly physical with some of the downfield throws along the sideline. The Ravens' pass rush was also able to generate 8 quarterback hits and other pressures to add into that number. 3 sacks overall, 2 more by Van Noy, 1 by Oweh. Van Noy is an animal right now. Some of the film is ridiculous, how he's the first person in the backfield to make contact. The Wildcat toss pass, Van Noy almost plays the role of 2 players, and it's not the first time that I've had that thought in my mind. It sounds ridiculous to say. He's almost in 2 places, maybe not at once, but within a split second of one another. He's playing with incredible effort across the line of scrimmage, downhill, but also awareness. I thought Travis Jones was a huge factor. I plan on doing a large-scale film study video on him for Tuesday morning at some point. For those of you that don't know, Coach Evans and Cole Jackson and myself try to stagger film on mornings so that Ravens fans have an hour or an hour and a half or in a row of hopefully high-quality film study videos. So, let me know what you think of that thought, whereby I understand that national news shows aren't giving you Ravens-centered content generally, for very long at a time, although after a Sunday Night Football win, they probably talked about Derrick Henry, Lamar, and the run game a lot. I thought David Ojabo has a brilliant play on the Bills' 4th possession. We'll get to the film here. Again, the Bills had 236 yards of offense, with 52 of that coming on one play. Other than that, they averaged 3.6 yards per play. 3.26 yards per play, excuse me. So we'll get to some of the film here. I'm going to focus on third downs, some of the coverages that I think the Ravens are running, some of the things the Bills are doing to try to attack us. This is a 3rd and 2 on the Bills' first possession. Of course, it results in a punt. Notice what we have down here where Kyle Hamilton is to the boundary, a consistent theme by the Bills whereby they're running pick, rub, or shield concepts, and that's pretty much what this is. This receiver down here, Hollins, initially moved to the bottom of the numbers on an inside release, and then he brings his route back outside. All he's doing is trying to shield Kyle Hamilton. Now that's not where the ball ends up being thrown. Josh Allen pump fakes once, pump fakes twice. Ball ends up being incomplete to Kincaid over the middle. Allen is able to get through his reads really quickly. So he's looking over here immediately. And for whatever reason, he doesn't like what he sees. Again, this is 3rd and 2. So he doesn't think that getting the ball out to Shakir here behind what, again, is going to turn into a shield by Hollins. They're trying to basically create a 2-for-1, whereby the receiver we account for the receiver with Wiggins and Kyle Hamilton. Allen has already worked off of it, trying to come back to the tight end in the middle of the field. For whatever reason, pump fakes, I guess because in his peripheral vision, he sees, I think it's Trenton Simpson flashing in front of his face. I didn't notice Simpson on the field a whole lot, but on this particular play, we're not in dime. We're just in our typical nickel. And when Josh Allen comes back here, the only thing I can think he doesn't want to, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to throw this football to Kincaid. I'm not sure why. He also could possibly see Marcus Williams converging on it. Throw ends up being incomplete. I would call that really his second read, working from right to left. It's a 1-read play down to the bottom side of the field. Ravens defended it well. Kyle Hamilton was difficult to get from a Bills perspective on these pick, rub, and shield concepts. So we're moving forward here. The Ravens obviously scored on our first possession, the 87-yard touchdown run by Derrick Henry. This is a 3rd and 6. The Bills are going to get a field goal on this possession. It's a delayed release by Kincaid. Again, down into the boundary, ball on the right hash. Pick, rub, shield concept by 13 on Kyle Hamilton, who's got 2 choices. The choice for Hamilton doesn't really occur there, but I wanted to draw it before the play begins. He's either got to go over the top of the pick, rub, or the shield, or he's got to go underneath of it. Either case it can force an easy completion for the tight end. In this case, 13 runs his route to the outside of the corner, the outside shoulder of Hamilton. Again, quick. Allen reading it. There's actually a pick on the other side of the field as well. I like to illustrate these just so people understand how often they occur. So watch how the Bills get this accomplished. I'll run this through a couple of times. It's a too high look by the Ravens. We're in dime at this point. I don't know about you, but I think dime is quite obviously our best look on a lot of these passing downs. So Humphrey is up to the top side of the screen, along with Brandon Stevens, and watch what the inside receiver does. I mean, you're just talking about an absolute pick that is legal at this point, but Coleman is. I don't think Coleman on last night was hiding his intentions on some of these plays, and I think there's a level of some of it could be questionable in terms of whether the refs call it or not. I actually don't think they should call this particular instance, but what I'm saying is Coleman doesn't sell it like some of the other guys do, that they're actually trying to run a route. So in any case, it worked up top. Thank goodness Josh Allen wasn't focused on that particular side because Shakir was open in the middle of the field. They got a conversion there, 6 yards, like I said, able to go down and get a field goal. Still on the second possession, though, this is going to be one of the reasons why they had to settle for a field goal. Travis Jones, disruptive as hell the entire night. Nate Wiggins played way better this week than he did against the Cowboys last week. Down here against Coleman. Marcus Williams against the tight end. Another dime look. Look like we're bringing Hamilton on the pressure. And so Williams is matched up with Kincaid underneath. You have Van Noy, and Travis Jones has won with what I think at this point is his patented club move. You got a hold or attempted hold. And Wiggins is matched up down here all alone in the end zone, battling it out with Coleman. Challenging at the catch point. 10-yard hold. I think it's Edwards for the Bills that pushes that back. They end up settling for, I think, a 50-yard field goal. Moving forward, 3rd and 1. This is, I think, one of the most important plays of the game. So this is Ojabo. Here's Hamilton to the tight end side. We'll let it run through a couple of times. I spent about 20 minutes looking through all of my old film, looking for the different iterations of this play that I saw in 2020. When the Ravens went to Buffalo in the Divisional Championship Series, I did a preview on an old channel of mine, and this play is one of the ones that I talked about, that it was a 3rd down staple for the Bills. Essentially, a triple option is what you have. The give to the running back, option 1. Again, it's a 3rd and 1, 3rd and short is when they generally used it, dating back to 2020. After the mesh with the running back, Josh Allen could keep it, obviously, and run around the edge. I would say that's the second option. The third option with a built-in, you guessed it, shield concept off of it is Dawson Knox out into the flats and look at the same type of release by Hollins. I mean, these things are legal. I'm not saying that no one should use them. In fact, I wish the Ravens offense kind of used them more. I am saying that we, all of us, myself included, should be a little less reactionary at times when we say that someone was beat, because oftentimes pick shield concepts are a part of the equation or one of the big factors in getting someone open. Hamilton's going over the top, kind of bending it like writing the letter J backwards or upside down. Great tackle on Knox, but why does it occur? I think it occurs because Ojabo takes a brilliant angle here. Is there anyone communicating this? It doesn't look like it to me. We're in our nickel set, by the way. Ojabo downhill. So if Allen hands this ball off, theoretically, it looks like Ojabo could clamp down or close down on Cook and maybe make the tackle before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Allen keeps it. Ojabo is strong enough to bring him down, break his core strength, break his posture some, and make it be an off-balance throw. The level of athleticism required to deal with Josh Allen is high. David Ojabo's up to the task. This is a great play, short area, don't get me wrong. It's not like he's running out to the sideline or anything, but I think this is a severely underrated play from the standpoint of the game flow and how the Ravens were able to get ahead. Again, this is the Bills' third possession, so they got the ball first. We stopped them, then they kicked a field goal after we scored. Their third possession, second possession, they get a field goal, we score again, and then their third possession, we get this stop. Hamilton deserves all the credit for making a play, folding outside over the top. That's great. Ojabo, if you ask me, plays a big role in that particular concept. Fourth possession here, and I do want to start talking about Marlon Humphrey matched up with Shakir. We spent a lot of the night with Brandon Stevens on the right, Nate Wiggins on the left, and then removed one of the inside linebackers and brought in Kyle Hamilton as the dime linebacker. Ardarius Washington and Eddie Jackson played different roles at times. Quick throw out into the flats to Shakir here. Again, this is fourth possession. We've already scored 3 times. So our offense was rolling. It's inside spin by Oweh, inconsequential. But we've got Roquan on the inside, Hamilton here, and Humphrey at the nickel. If Humphrey can stay healthy and play like this, we are so fast with those 3 guys. If you change it up and you were to put Humphrey as the left outside corner, Hamilton as the nickel, who covers a lot of ground, and he's quick as well, but then basically put Trenton Simpson where Kyle Hamilton would be. This is a far superior group against the pass, in my opinion. Not saying that Trenton Simpson doesn't have a role on this team, particularly on pass downs, but Marlon Humphrey's speed, his ability to close down, it's basically snag concept, guys, in case you don't know. Snag by the outside receiver, Hollins, that the Ravens run a lot. Quick completion to Shakir, 2 yards. There was really nothing for him on this night. Same play, end zone angle. Look at the leverage that Marlon has. Inside shade of Shakir. As soon as he sees Josh Allen look, he's gone. Very decisive, very clean. I thought he played extremely well. Ensuing play, this is a 3rd and 8. Allen's going to be sacked. Oweh's going to drop out late. We're showing heavy blitz pressure, mug look, if you will. Allen has brought the tight end into the backfield to try to deal with that perceived pressure. Yeah, I think Keon Coleman, if there was time, would have the opportunity to get the ball down the field. We got Humphrey on a blitz to the inside, and I think I'll give you the end zone angle of this one, not sure. And while that's happening, 2 players are dropping out. It's Hamilton dropping out to match the inside receiver from the other side. So we've got Hamilton on inside leverage on 2, and I think that's Ardarius outside leverage on 2. Marcus Williams running to the middle of the field. Oweh has dropped out late. When you see the end zone angle, you'll see that Travis Jones is a guy who makes first contact. Surprise, surprise, Kyle Van Noy with the sack. Brilliant stuff in the first half from Zach Orr, if you ask me. Really had the Bills' offense on a string in terms of what we were doing, and they were reacting to us and not attacking at all. I was not nearly as impressed with the Bills' offensive line as I expected to be up front. I did not spend as much time at all watching their defense leading up to this matchup. I've focused my film study on their offense, and I didn't expect to see their pass pro look so inconsistent. So we're bringing Marlon on a B-gap blitz. Jones is stunting across, and the guard pretty much releases him. Jones makes first contact. Van Noy finishes him off. I don't know about you, but watching that play live on the broadcast, I was like, hold on to him, Van Noy. Hold on to him. Don't let him go. It's a nice little dip under move against the right tackle. Van Noy has every single move working right now. Putting the right arm out there, almost kind of like bait. A little quick touch and then up underneath. So he's trying to elicit the counter from the right tackle. Van Noy doesn't just have every move available to him. I think he knows which one's going to work against particular players. So we're moving forward here. We, of course, fumbled the ball away on that 4th possession. I think if we don't turn the football over, we're going in to make it 28-3. So the Bills get the ball here, and a great pass deflection by Marlon over the middle. Again, Allen is coming back to him. There is an aspect to their offense whereby Shakir is not always the first part of the read, but he's someone that Josh Allen trusts to come back to. There's no pressure at all. Allen looked to his left initially, and then he's going to throw the ball over Roquan's right shoulder. Marlon in trail, cuts underneath of it. Brilliant timing on the challenge. Able to get a pass deflection. That ball, I thought, was up in the air for a moment. I'll give you the all-22 angle so you can see it. This is the play, if you don't recall, where Marlon, after the play, stands up and celebrates and then signals that he's hurt, comes off the field. Since we are inside of 2 minutes in the first half, It ends up being a charged timeout for us, and Harbaugh calls a timeout on the ensuing play as the Bills are lining up for a 4th and 2, which gives the Bills a first down. Apparently, someone on the sideline was asking Harbaugh for a timeout. Oftentimes, yeah, you will see referees ignore that timeout call if they know that you have just called one. And in fact, I've been on sidelines before where refs will say, hey, you don't have any timeouts left, so they'll kind of inform you. Dime look again, as an aside, where Hamilton and Roquan are the two, quote, inside linebackers on the field. This is perfect usage for Kyle Hamilton, if you ask me. If we can shut down the boundary side stuff, which, again, you have what looks like a shield concept forcing Hamilton to go over the top. Marlon, great timing on the challenge, full extension. Gets a stop. That was a cool moment as they're lining up. I was a little scared. I don't know about you. Maybe scared's not the right word. I was a little worried about them going for it on 4th and 2 and converting, and they ended up actually converting. So our defense comes through, though. 3 consecutive pass plays, defended well. Now, this first one, throw to Hollins up the left sideline against Brandon Stevens. Yes, teams are targeting Stevens. I can't blame them to some extent. He's not a guy who's going to, quote, make plays on the ball. We are jamming up the tight end. Stevens is turning and running with Hollins. I think that there are certain routes by these bigger receivers, Hollins, Coleman, that perhaps are available for them against Stevens, the back shoulder fade, because he's going to be in such tight relationship, but the goes are not. I trust Brandon Stevens, to be honest with you, to be in good coverage relationship. Matabike, as an aside, happened to fall down on this one. I thought he was off balance on another play last night, so perhaps it was a cleat issue. I don't know. Ensuing play, again, this is 5th possession, late second quarter, after our fumble, and then we unfortunately call a timeout to give them a first down on a 4th and 2. Joker set. So Allen has brought the tight end into the backfield again on a 2nd and 10. And of course, he challenged Brandon Stevens up the left side once more. Keon Coleman is there. You get a nice challenge on the ball by Stevens. Excuse me. A nice challenge on the ball by Stevens. So good timing. We're dropping Marcus Williams down here. Almost looks like to deal with something by the running back. So that's interesting. Wiggins is up top. Marlon is dealing with Kyle Hamilton is dealing with the tight end out of the backfield. We had everything covered up. We did play a lot more man than perhaps I was anticipating in this game. I was a little worried about us playing so much man such that Josh Allen kind of got out of there and there was just too much space for us once he was able to escape from the second level, but that just didn't happen very often. And then finally, the third down, we force a punt here. 3rd and 10. Inside spin move by Van Noy. I will give you the end zone angle. It's an inside move initially and then a spin back to the outside. Sorry. Doesn't end up in a sack, but Josh Allen had a lot of pressure coming from his right side, our left-hand side of the defense. Travis Jones also really just walking someone back into Josh Allen's face. Van Noy with another quarterback hit. I think he had 3 on the night. We're in dime once again. You can notice Roquan on the field along with Hamilton, so no Simpson at all with the ball on the left hash. Look at what Jones is doing to the center. And I think that's their starting center who had that unusual situation where he was pulled off the field 2 different times to bring in Anderson. Jones from this kind of wide 3 alignment ends up working inside to 66. And he was walking him back before 66 and 64's feet got caught up together. Van Noy with a just little touch on Allen to let him know he was there. Ravens go into the half up 21-3. This is after the Bills are able to score in the third quarter to make it 21-10. Our offense got stopped twice, 3 and out during this time period. Just such a weird play, but I want to talk about Van Noy and his awareness level. He's unblocked on this. He's up to the top side of the screen as the defensive end. We're giving hand signals. It looks like the safeties and DBs are patting both of their hands on their thighs, so some type of coverage check there. But Van Noy sees Josh Allen over there and just explodes off the line. No chance for the tackle to get him. He's the guy who hits the running back during the toss. And then also I don't know who Josh Allen is throwing to, I guess he's trying to throw this route here. Not sure why he was so pissed off. On the sideline, apparently through the tablet. I really don't see anything there for him. Number one. Number two, really weird play call. This is a 2nd and 7. The Bills finally have a little bit of momentum here, facing a 2nd and 7 on our side of the 50. I thought they were just on the other side of the 50 when I did the game reaction last night. Really weird play call. Brilliant play by Kyle Van Noy. Can only think that the Bills' offensive staff regrets making this call at this point. You can see Van Noy collisions the running back on the toss. So near disaster there by the Bills. Allen able to catch it. Can't get this off. When I said that Kyle Van Noy was almost in two places at once or within a split second of each other, this is the play I'm referring to. Game-changing moment. I don't think that Allen's going to complete that pass there at all. It looks like to me Marcus Williams is underneath of Mac Hollins on the post dig. Additional to that, looks like the other safety, Eddie Jackson, is running with him. But in any case, game-changing play because we get the ball back, and from there, our offense took off again. We went up 28-10, eventually 35-10, really closed out the Bills in dominant fashion from a offensive and defensive standpoint. The level of physicality, not just on that play, Josh Allen and an offensive lineman are on the ground after the play. The level of physicality was pretty obvious. I thought we were the more physical team, and I didn't think that was the case at all against the Chiefs, nor in our Week 2 loss, to be honest with you, against the Raiders. I thought that there were times where we didn't look as physical. We looked like the Ravens on Sunday night from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, running the football, using multiple guys to basically bludgeon their defense. If you didn't check out my video from earlier today, I did a film study video on Derrick Henry and Justice Hill and how they took turns basically beating up Buffalo's defense, which, just like the offense, looked slower and less athletic than I was expecting. I was expecting a Bills offense and defense that was very fast and physical, and in the case of the defense, they struggled with horizontal stuff. Whenever we did any horizontal flow, with split flow off of it, the Bills really had trouble. In any case, Zach Orr's finest performance of the season from a four-quarter perspective. He had some great moments, obviously, against the Raiders in the first half, the Cowboys in the first half, really dominant. He was able to project that out over the course of 4 quarters. How much of that do you think is the dime look? How much of that do you think is Kyle Hamilton playing dime linebacker to the boundary? I am also very interested in seeing us walk Hamilton down as the dime linebacker to the field, set Roquan into the boundary. That would change some coverage options for us. Maybe we would play less man into the boundary. We do tend to play so much man over there to the boundary that's why we see shield pick concepts to that side, the short side of the field, because teams know we're playing man. If they can shield or pick the second defender in from the sideline, basically the will linebacker or dime linebacker in the case of Kyle Hamilton, then that number 2 receiver or the slot tight end, whatever, some cases running back, can get open out into the flats because we're playing man. I am very interested to see if and when we play dime but move Roquan into the boundary and kind of get away from our man tendency. So it's something I'm thinking about, number 1. Number 2, I will, in a film study video, project forward this week on where I think the Ravens' dime defense can go in terms of some of the things that we've actually seen on film before with like Ty Spauser, Jadeveon Clowney, even Kyle Van Noy dropping out in coverage. In any case, those are some of my thoughts about how well Zach Orr called the football game, prepared the defense for what the Bills were going to run, and we were able to get out of there with a 35-10 win that in some ways doesn't even seem like it was that as close as a 25-point differential. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this film study video, this look at how Zach Orr's defense was able to whitewash the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.